What's going on, people? Welcome to 101 Weekly. This is the Liverpool versus Arsenal preview. And look at my panel. Serious looks on their faces. Stone cold serious looks. You know why? Because we've seen our competitors fall by the wayside, and we've seen an opportunity where tomorrow, a win or a draw will still see us in third place. How's your weekend going, Bertram? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I apologize. We've talked about it in previous podcasts. I think it did one of the most interesting and difficult Premier League season ever, because I see like most teams have improved and nobody fears anyone anymore. And there's no home. You don't have home crowds, so you don't have that advantage anymore. You don't have home advantage, as we saw with Leicester and City today. So it makes it challenging. And we'll see what happens if we don't get people back in the stands for the entire season, because I think we'll have some surprises. Liverpool still seems like the strongest team on paper, but the game is played on the field. So it's interesting. My week has been good. Teams around us are losing or drawing. Pity Man U didn't lose yesterday or even draw it. I mean, when you hit the goalpost or the upright, whatever, 5 times in a game, then you should get something out of it. But it should be interesting going forward. So it's been a good week.
Agreed. African Gooner, how you doing? Big smile on your face. You seem very happy today. 7 days left for the transfer market. All of our competitors falling around like flies. Talk to me. How's your week going, my bro?
Yeah, my week's been good, Apollo. It actually feels quite a while since we played. It's kind of hard to remember the intricate details of that game, even though I know we played really well, which we'll definitely get into. In terms of the 7 days thing, I think the one thing is I love it when our rivals lose. The bad thing is when they lose, they actually go and spend money. That's my problem. When Arsenal lose, it's always iffy. But when our big teams, and let's be honest here, when United and Chelsea and all these teams lose, Tottenham even, I mean, Mourinho is going to be in the ear of Daniel Levy telling him he needs more players, right? So that's worrying for me to know that potentially our rivals might actually spend some money and that we might not. So hopefully Arsenal can get the business done. I think with the Leicester performance, I'm much more confident for tomorrow. I still fear that we will lose, but I don't think we'll get a beating. So hopefully tomorrow will be good news for us.
Excellent. Tony, man, how's your week going? You got a serious face on. We're going to war tomorrow, my brother.
Well, it's a busy week. It's a busy weekend, I should say. I've got the red zone in the background, so lots of action going on there. It's been a massive weekend of sport. We had F1 today. We had boxing last night. We had UFC last night. I mean, I've just literally been embedded in sport this weekend. So, yeah, I've had a fairly good set of results. I've some good sport to watch. And as the African Gooner said, it's great to see our rivals falling around us. Just watch Wolves. Like, wow, what a result for West Ham. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. Still a tough battle. Still going to be very difficult for us to get a result. But as you said, win or a draw puts us in a really great place mentally, going ahead for the next set of very difficult games that we've got in the rest of October.
Excellent. First of all, let's shout out our chat room people, and this is going to be very expansive. Big shout out to David. What's going on, David? David's saying, Apollo, when do you think the fans will be back? What year? I don't think it's going to be back this season. I think it's going to be 2021. Sydney, what's going on? Big shout out to you, my brother. Also, Cool K, I'll take a draw. The way results are going on around us, I agree, man. I agree. What's going on, Vincey? Vincey saying, wow, Bills away, 35-32. Sorry, guys, we're all big NFL fans here, so that's going to come into the mix. CJ, what's going on? We'll take a draw tomorrow. So would I, my brother, because as I said, that would still leave us in third place. 18 is saying, yes, people, yes to you, my brother, yes to you.
Wow.
And unknown Facebook.
The Eagles have just come back in that game, 23-0.
That's mad. Facebook user who hasn't signed the waiver at the top of the page, so we don't know who you are. Good evening to you, my friend. Good evening to you. And let's shout out those Facebook's people. We're streaming live to Arsenal #101. So what's up to the 4,000 people there? We're also streaming live to Arsenal, the Arsenal Lounge. So big shout out to all the people, 3,000 people on Arsenal Lounge. So we're streaming to 3 devices today. So big shout out to everybody. Let's get on with it. Oh, we haven't even said hello to Ebony first because she missed us. Ebony, what's going on, man? You look like you're ready for bed.
Yeah. Being at home, you know how it is.
I hear you, man.
The week's gone well. It's actually been quite interesting in the Premier League. Teams that we expect to win, they've lost. I've got a few bits and pieces to say about the Man City versus Leicester game. But I'm just hoping that, tomorrow we'll come up with a win. If we lose, then, it's no big surprise there. But I think with all the upsets that have happened this weekend, I think, we can be a part of that.
Yeah, for real. And the guys are going mad in the chat room already. And let's have a look what they're saying. Vince is just going mad, keeping us updated with the NFL. Joseph, what's going on, bro? Joseph saying, big up, guys. Tony, that's my favorite Arsenal top you're wearing. And as you can see, I've got the unwanted Rwanda logo version of the Apollo 101 up here, which is never going to be worn until my Black Lives Matter and NHS badge comes through the post. Cool K is saying, we'd like to see Gabriel play as he needs experience of games like these. But I do think it may go with Luiz for the experience. Hey, Luiz has been playing with Gabriel, so I think it would be Gabriel, Luiz, and Tierney. But we'll have to wait and see. Vince is saying we're going to win 3-2 tomorrow. So, guys, let's... where are we right now? Okay, let's have a quick look where we are right now. So let's talk about the game tomorrow. Let's actually talk about the game tomorrow. So... there's one team in the league that has not let a goal in, and that's Aston Villa. Well, we know what their goalkeeper's like, but they've only played one game. Yeah, they've only played one game. But there's another team, guys, who's only let in 1 goal in their first 2 games, and that's Arsenal. But listen to this. Chelsea have let in 6 goals in 3 games. Spurs, 4 goals in 3 games. Man City, 6 goals in 2 games. Man United, 5 goals in 2 games. So last year, when we played Liverpool, and I believe it was the game we won 2-1 at Anfield, they had 25 shots in 90 minutes against us. In the Charity Shield, in the Community Shield, they had 24 shots versus Arsenal's 3.
We haven't won an Anfield in 8 years, so that we actually won a game at the Emirates, not at Anfield. So guys, so overall, Bertram, where do you see the Anfield game going? We can give our predictions as well, guys. In the chat, throw out your predictions. I want to hear you. Yeah, and all the guys on Facebook who are watching the stream, let's hear what your prediction would be as well. Bertram.
So it depends on what team Arteta picks, actually. We're talking about Gabriel and Luiz and Tierney. It's very difficult to play those 3 because David Luiz is a right footer and he can play on the left. Tierney can only play on the left, and Gabriel to me can only play on the left. You can't play Gabriel on the right, so how does that work? And you want David Luiz in the middle because he's not used to playing.
Why can't you play Gabriel on the left, on the right?
Because he has no right foot.
Just play.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him with a right foot.
Yeah, I haven't seen him either.
Have a right foot to play on the right side of centre back. That makes no sense.
Most times, yes. Because that's not like playing with a winger. No. That's not like playing with a winger. I don't know any left footers who play on the right. Or tell me one that play on the right in the Premier League. Tell me one.
I've heard
Pepe.
Rubbish.
No. You're not talking about wingers. You're talking about defenders.
Oh, okay.
Defender.
Right.
Your central defender.
Left or right footed.
Like I said before, tell me a central defender. Tell me a central defender who is left footed who plays on the right. Central defender, not wingers. Yes, we've switched that up in football. Football has changed about
2 feet. You've got 2 feet. What?
You're both right. You're both right. It's preferably you.
No, we're not both right. We're not both right. Tony's wrong.
You're both right.
Wait. When Sinks has playing with your right foot on the left side been a problem? Because I know that Nicolas Pepe plays on the right side and he's left-footed. What's the problem?
So you haven't answered my question. Well, guys, you haven't answered my question, Tony.
What? Hang on. Did Sol Campbell
every team not
Sol
look.
Campbell not used to play on the left-hand side to Martin Keown, and he was right-footed.
We're talking about 4 defenders.
Okay, guys. Well,
3 defenders and 4 defenders. We're talking about 4 defenders versus 3 defenders.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have to remember that Zambrotta, who played on the right and he was left-footed, and also
in a 4 defenders, not 3 defenders. 4. I've never seen it. I don't see it. Show me now in a 3.
To play a winger.
Okay. So let's look at the teams who play with 3 defenders.
Back role.
You answered my question, Tony. You have answered my question. I
just told you, Sol Campbell played on the left of Martin King.
Sol Campbell played how long ago? 20 years ago? Talk about modern football.
Yeah, I think it's modern. Yeah.
In modern football, right footers didn't play on the left.
Yeah,
right footers didn't play on the left.
Come on,
Tony. It might be rubbish, but as you know, it's your opinion, and I think you're right. I also think Bertram's right in his.
No, we're not both right.
No, I think you are. I really think because I just pointed out that Maldini and Zambrotta were both playing on the right, and they were.
Maldini and Zambrotta played. These guys, we're talking about 20 years ago.
I know, so that's why I said you're right.
Contemporary football.
I said you're both right. I think
you can't
the game has changed.
The wrong foot is what you're saying.
No. Look. You're missing the point, Tony. You're missing the point.
If you're on your wrong foot.
No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're missing the point, though. You're missing the point.
Your job is to defend. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta make passes. Normally on your right side. So you gotta tackle with your right foot. You wanna tackle with your strong foot.
You don't get taught to defend and tackle on one side of your body. Your job is to defend. Passing the ball out, you should be able to pass with both feet. We're not asking you to spray a 30-yard ball. We're asking you to pass the ball 6-7 yards to a midfielder.
Okay,
no, we can't stop. No, they can't stop this, Apollo. So, tell me where Gabriel's made a 40-yard pass with his right foot.
Where does I
don't think
we're holding a 40-yard pass with his left foot.
Guys, Kieran Tierney, as Brian has just talked about, Kieran Tierney has played right back for Celtic as well. He's played centre back for Celtic and he's played right back for Celtic. So yeah, so we have someone that can fit in there at right back.
I thought we were talking about big defenders who played central defense.
It raises an interesting question about who is going to line up there. Will he put Hold in there? I'm not too sure because I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Gabriel has played on the left. He played on the left in the French league. He played on the left for Brazil when he played on the 21. He's played on the left for Arsenal. You can put him on the right. Really?
No, he's going to play on the left.
Yeah, I think he's going to play on the left. Guys, I just want to shout out to Joseph. Thank you, Joseph, for that contribution to the channel. Much appreciated, my brother. And would you guys play Elneny tomorrow? Yes, on my side. Bertram, would you play him?
I think he has to play. I don't think he'd play him, but I think he has to play. I think what we have to realize when we played Liverpool the first time and we played Ceballos, we got run over, frankly. We won the game, we got run over because we got 2 lucky mistakes by the defense. We played them when Elneny played. We played as well as they played.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between the 2 games because you know why? Because Ceballos takes risk. Ceballos likes to hold the ball. Ceballos is not in position. And then he's not going anywhere. He and Xhaka can be sitting right in front of the defense. And then he's disciplined. Ceballos isn't.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it's about ball winning. Ball winning is something that is Elneny's forte. He won. Look, I talked about the other night against Leicester. He won 5 duels, won the ball back 5 times. In Fulham, he won the ball back 6 times. If you look at the statistics, how many duels did Xhaka win in those 2? I know he had some tackles, but I'm talking about winning the ball back and springing counter-attacks, which is where most of Arsenal's chances have come from, really. If I look at that, in Arsenal's, where is it? Here it is. In Arsenal's last 3 meetings against top 6 rivals, almost all of those goals have come from counter-attacking scenarios. So winning the ball back is going to be key to us having success tomorrow. And I think Elneny's definitely got it for me. What about you, African Guna? Would you play Elneny?
It really hurts me that we have to have these conversations and we're even talking about Elneny playing in our midfield However, saying that 100% Bertram is right. I mean, yeah, Ceballos is too open for me, and these guys, Liverpool is gonna press the crap out of us. They're gonna have the ball like 70% possession. They're gonna be in our half, and they're gonna be pressing us. And Elneny's definitely gonna have to play along Xhaka, and they're gonna have to be really tight tomorrow. They can't let any passes through that middle, because as soon as that happens, we're in trouble. So yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. Elneny has to play, but Apollo, I think it's too far to say that he's a ball-winning midfielder, because yes, he has done it in the last 2-3 games. You know, hands up, he has. But I mean,
he's 3 out of 3. Yeah, he's 3 out of 3.
In the last 3 years, he hasn't done that for Arsenal. So yes, he's doing it right now, but he's never been that player before. You know, this right now is a different Elneny. So I'm going to give him the credit. I hope that he can continue doing it. If he does, then he deserves to stay as a squad player for Arsenal. If not, we really need to buy a midfielder.
Can we judge Elneny like how we judge Martinez? Let's judge him on more recent performances and not 2 years ago.
I did. I was fair in my reflection. I've said in the last 2 years, he wasn't that player, but I'm giving him credit for doing it in the last 3 games. But Bertram, you and I both know just because you do it in the last 3 games doesn't mean that all of a sudden, you know, you're that player, right? So that's what I'm saying. Thank you.
I would only say this, which is I would agree with you, but I haven't seen him play in Turkey. But all I've gotten back is rave reviews from Turkey.
Yeah,
Turkey's not the same. Turkey's not the same league like the Premier League. But Tony's decision doesn't change. If you're bad today, you're bad 3 years from now.
Okay,
so some players would never get the benefit of the doubt.
Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, Tony, go for it.
Next year's your turn.
Tony,
I'm going to be Skip Bayless to Shaggy Sharp over there. Skip Bayless. So listen, you're saying that he might have played well in Turkey, but you don't know, yeah?
No, I said he had rave reviews. No, I said he's got rave reviews from Turkey. Rave reviews. Everybody wants him. Every team wants him. Every team wants him in Turkey.
So I get a lot of players get rave reviews. I mean, listen, Turkish league, that's what you're comparing it to.
That's all I have.
Talking about the Turkish league and saying a man got rave reviews.
And I have 3 games he's played since he come back, and rave reviews is right.
Yeah, and then he's been solid, every single one of them.
Yeah, all the games he's played since he come back, he's been in rave reviews also.
Yeah, so he has.
Let's put some common sense into this. Let's not give him all the kudos and big him up after 3 games. I'm ecstatic that he's played as well as he has. Thank you very much, Mohamed Elneny. I believe, based on those 3 performances, he deserves to play tomorrow. However, I'm not going to jump above like the parapet and say, oh my God, here we go. We've got our new Partey. Sorry, bruv. I still want Thomas.
No, we're talking about what we have, Tony. We're talking about what we have today.
Yeah. Yes. And Tony, I think we should. I think we should big him up. The way how we ran him out of town, I think we should big him up and give him credit. He deserves it. It's been solid.
Let's give credit for what he's done. 3 games, maybe 4 by tomorrow night. So you know, well done, Mohamed Elneny. But I'm not going overboard and saying like, you know, all of a sudden he's turned into the new Paolo Maldini. No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do that. I think you just got to give a player credit when they turn up.
No,
and remember,
let's give a player credit, but you've got to do it more than 3 games.
Yeah.
He's only had 3 games, Tony. I had to tell you this. He's only had 3 games to do it.
Yeah. He's not. You've got to be picked first. Ebony, would you play Elneny?
You know, if we can foresee the future and he's played as well as he has in the last 3 games, and to be fair, you know, I do agree partly with Tony. I agree partly with Bertram and African Guna. Just give him his chance. All right, we've seen him against Fulham. He was excellent. We saw him against what was the other team?
Liverpool.
Against Liverpool.
Against Liverpool, he was excellent again. Yes, it was at home, but that's not the point. The point is he's actually played quite well. And I'm not saying that, you know, he's turned into, you know, a brand new player overnight. And I'm not saying that we don't need Partey, because we do. But if you take into consideration the last match that he's played, give him a chance. You know, don't write him off completely, but at the same time, you know, we still do need a Partey. You know, Elneny may not be the full answer, but give him a chance. And if he doesn't play well tomorrow, then, you know, then it's back to the drawing board for him. But yeah, I'd play him tomorrow.
So I have a question for Tony and Ebony, not for African Gunner and Apollo, because I know their perspective. Elneny or Xhaka?
Elneny.
Elneny right now.
Okay. No, sorry, African Gunner and Apollo.
I don't want
Xhaka
in my team.
Well, I'm not even hiding it. Like, I'm smiling. I'm laughing about it because it's true. I don't have to hide it.
Listen,
Remember my 75-year-old mother, yeah?
I would have Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean, yeah, than Xhaka right now. Just because it don't make no. You're still carrying 10. You're still carrying a player, innit? You're still playing with 10 men.
Okay.
CJ.
Go ahead, Apollo.
CJ saying Holding, Gabriel, and Luiz will be. He's back free. David saying, do you like parking the bus? I don't, but against Man City and 2 games against Liverpool, we averaged 24% of possession, which is not a lot. And I already stated that all of our goals came from counterattacks. So I don't like parking the bus, brother, but I'll do it if it means that we're going to be solidified and get a result. I just want to get a result, especially after seeing what's happening this weekend. I don't care if we win. If we don't win, a draw and look, I'm going for a 2-2 draw tomorrow. That's my prediction. What do you guys think? Do you like parking the bus or
not particularly? No, because it's the most boring way to play. It's just defensive. It's just boring.
I agree.
It's all about winning, Apollo. I don't really care.
It's all about winning.
I want to win. I don't care.
I like to see some action. I like to see passing. I like to see some creation.
We don't have that. We don't have that luxury right now. We're not Man City or any other big team that has star players where we can decide and say, "Oh, I want to see beautiful football." No, we don't have a team that can play that. So at the moment, it's all about the results. You win 1-0 every the season. I'll take it.
I agree. If we open up Ebony, they'll the likes of City.
I know. Because if you have Holding in defence, he's not the fastest. So that could be a problem. And our midfield, well, sometimes they just go missing, especially if you have Xhaka. So
true, but again, remember, Holding was there when we won the FA Cup. He was there when we beat Man City. He was there,
But FA Cups are one-off games, though. That's the thing.
Okay, but beating Liverpool twice.
This is
stars win fights.
So this is
stars win fights.
We're using the Elneny scenario. Elneny had 3 good games, and we're talking him up. Holding had 3 good games. So there's no reason to doubt that he cannot deal with Mane because he's done it.
Yeah,
Holding had 1 so-so game and 2 good games, not 3 good games.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that too.
Now, what I just want to say in relation to this parking the bus scenario, do Arsenal have the ability to park a bus? I just don't think that's in our nature.
Better than before, Tony. Better than before. We're defensively looking better and kind of parking the bus than before.
Tony, you're saying it's not in our nature, but that's exactly what Arteta did to beat these guys.
Yeah, the bigger ones, for sure.
Having a good defensive structure is not akin to parking a bus.
Yes, but the time of possession, the average time of possession is 24%.
That doesn't mean you park the bus. That just means the other team played a lot of possession football. Yeah, so you're bedding yourself in and giving them the 2, 3. What did you do?
75% of the.
So guys, I'll say this. I'll say what I heard from Brendan Rodgers and Guardiola today. Guardiola said they parked the bus. Brendan Rodgers inferred they were being strategic. So stars wins fights. If you can't match the person punch for punch, then you figure out a strategy to beat them. And that's what we have done when we play the very good teams. Because today, for example, and even when Man City plays Liverpool, you could say one of them parked the bus. Like one team plays counter-attacking football. Last time they beat Liverpool 3-0, I think it was, Liverpool played counter-attacking football, which is you want to press me high into my own half, I'm going to play the ball over the top, I'm going to stay compact.
Yeah, and that's remember, that's how Leicester won the Premiership. Yeah, that's how they won the Premier League. They won the league playing 4-4-2 and counter-attacking football, averaging 32% of possession. Who does
How many goals did they score? Lots of goals.
Yeah, all on the counter-attack.
You're a part of the bus team if you score a lot of goals.
But that was their philosophy. Their philosophy was to suck teams in, give away all possession to the big teams, and then hit them on the counter, and it worked for them. They won the league.
So I'm gonna have a new acronym. It's called EP. It's effective possession. this thing about possession stats, we have 70%. How much of 70% was really effective and meaningful versus me pass the ball of my own half, me pass it to the right, back to the left, back to the center, back to the keeper. It comes back to me and I go around in a circle like we used to do at times. And I'm not in the person's third to create chances, to hit their goal, to hit the target, nothing. That's what City had today. City had ineffective positions.
So when we beat Liverpool 2-1, they had 25 shots. We had 3.
No, that's a different story. They overran us. We got lucky. that was the effective position. We had 2 goals which we scored from them making mistakes where Van Dijk gave the ball away. We didn't do anything that game.
You keep saying they're making mistakes, Bertram. We made them make mistakes. I've had this conversation with you many times, bro.
Sorry. The difference between made them make mistakes. No. City made teams make mistakes with that effective high press. Van Dijk just made a bad decision, kicked the damn ball out versus trying to pull off Nelson.
It wasn't just Van Dijk, bro. It wasn't.
No, but getting missed. Apollo. There's a difference between me pressing you as a team and you come to turnover because I press you versus my defender just when you dominate the ball. How is that us being effective in our possessions? You dominate the ball and I got 2 mistakes that you made and I scored. Yeah. I don't walk away from that feeling good. I feel good about the last game we played them, where I thought we played very compact, very well. We shut down Salah, we shut down Mane. That gives me hope for tomorrow. Yeah, the previous game didn't.
Yeah, I agree. So let's have a look at this. Would you rather?
By the way, Bertram, regardless, even if the first one they gave it to us, we take both wins. I take both and celebrate both as long as Arsenal wins.
So we've got Sode who says, would you rather play Pepe or Willian? For me, it's Willian all day because you're not going to get no defensive help. Or whoever's playing on the right side, whether it's Bellerin, whether it's right back, whether it's Holding, whether it's Tierney, whoever's at right back, you're not going to get no support unless you've got Willian in that setup. But what about you guys, Bertrand?
Willian.
So I have been saying I was thinking about the City game today and how Vardy was effective. I've thought about when you have someone in the middle of the field who can think about the game today in City. The game turned on Mendy making a turn. Yeah. Beating 3 midfielders, passing the through ball that killed them, right?
Yeah, so their through balls were amazing.
Yeah, when you're pressing me high and I can get past the first or second man, then it's wide open because you're high, I can get behind you. So my question is, why can't we play all 4 of them? Or if he plays 4-3-3, or because Pepe needs to be on the field in this game, isolated on somebody to do something. But you can't play him because defensively he's weak. And second of all, if you're going to play 3 at the back, you can only have 3 up front. And Willian and Aouar has to play. The question is, does Lacazette have to play? We need speed. We need to create a situation with Van Dijk and Gomez, or if it's Matip, whoever it is. We don't have that creativity up front with Lacazette and Nketiah. So I look at the game today and say, you know what? They couldn't mark Vardy. So if I put Aubameyang in the middle and he plays on the shoulder of Van Dijk, does that force them back? I get more room to maneuver.
Yeah, my thoughts on that. Yeah, my thoughts on that. I'm playing Nketiah. I would go Willian, Nketiah, Aubameyang. That's what I would do. African Guna, what about you, Pepe or Willian?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tony, but Pepe is not doing it for me, man. This guy, he has so much talent. He's just not the finished product. And for 72 million, I really feel like we should have bought Zaha, to be honest. But so Willian is the more finished product. You can see his experience. You can see his all-round game when he's on the ball and stuff. Like, I feel much more confident. I know Pepe is going to dribble and then he's going to lose it, and he's not effective enough. We're talking about effective possession. For me, Pepe isn't effective enough with the ball most of the time, and I want to give him time as well, obviously, because he's young and stuff. But we need players that are delivering now. But as Bertram says, we need both of them on the field. For me, you move Oba to the top, you play Pepe on the right, and you play Willian on the left. We're going to play counter-attacking football. Play our fastest 3 players. I mean, bring on Nketiah maybe in the second half. I think Lacazette, just take a rest. Take a knee, sit this one out, and play our most frightening front 3, and just hit them on the break. And Xhaka and Elneny have to sit deep, and Gabriel and all the rest of the defenders. Leno is going to have a lot of saving to do. Everyone else sit deep, and we just take the pressure in and hit them on the counter. That would be my strategy for tomorrow. Play both.
What about you, Tony?
So I think Bertram's actually come up with a very good suggestion with playing all 4. This so-called greatness of Willian over Pepe, I kind of feel like people are, you know, I understand your frustrations at Pepe sometimes, but I actually think, who's a better footballer, Pepe or Willian? Yes, Willian is more acclimatized to the Premier League, but if you look at his performance last week against West Ham, sorry, but that just wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah,
but so neither was Pepe's, and the decision making with Willian is what gives him the edge for me. It's just the decision making. The rest, they're very close.
So I get what you're saying. So I think the difference is quite small. But
no, it's not. It's not, because Willian backtrack and plays defense.
But
he wins the ball. He runs back and makes tackles.
Pepe?
Sorry,
is he that much better a player than Pepe?
Yeah, because he understands the need to go back and help defensively to his team as part of his sort of
duty.
Yeah, as part of his duty. Whereas Pepe, at times you see him go missing in games, and that's because he's out on an island and he hasn't thought to himself, maybe I should go back and backtrack that run, and maybe I should close down Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe I should close down Henderson so he can't pivot the ball to the front three. Pepe isn't there yet.
It's not like he can't do that, and we've seen him do that. It's just that we don't get enough of it, maybe.
Yeah.
I just want to say, you know, look, I understand what people will say about Pepe. He can go missing in the game sometimes, but guaranteed he'll come out and do something mad that'll make you go, oh, that's why we have it.
Yeah.
Willian, last week against West Ham, was ineffective to me.
He had a bad game. He had a bad game. But remember,
so I'll say something. I'll say something actually.
Willian's created 76 chances to Pepe's 40. That's nearly double the amount of chances created in a whole season. That's a big ox. That's a big ox.
So I want to say something. A couple of things. One is, we keep talking about Aouar, and how great Aouar is. And I was reading some stats about Aouar compared to Pepe. Pepe's stats were better than Aouar before he left the French league, actually, in terms of what his chances created. Number of things they mentioned about Aouar. They compared this Pepe and someone else was better than his stats. Here's the thing. Why can't Pepe, if they're going to bring Aouar, that means they have to play 4-3-3. Have to play 4-3-3. No other formation doesn't work. Why can't Pepe play what Aouar would be playing? Meaning he's playing the 10 or he's playing a wide. Why can't he play in the 10 and be just as effective as Aouar is?
I would.
I don't understand that. Why does managers stick to the traditional way of playing players who they see play a certain way and don't get inventive? And even in practice, get to see, can he work here? Because he can play that 10. And the thing about him playing the 10, he'll go by people, which means defense are on the backtrack, which means you got to play deeper. Because today, Guardiola did what I expect him to do, which is have no change of tactics when he's under pressure. He gets lost. He gets flustered and he does nothing. We talk about Southampton manager and how he probably should be fired. Then Tottenham scored 5 last because they're playing a high line and they get behind his line, didn't change it. Guardiola did the same thing today. Guardiola off the shoulder all game, he did nothing. Didn't change. They play deeper. He's pressing high. They get beat in midfield and they're wide open. And it makes no sense to me. Pepe played against Liverpool, against Van Dijk, and actually should have scored. He went by him, one person beat Van Dijk, and I'm saying, why is Pepe more in the middle? Maybe next time he'll score when he gets a one-on-one. Why is he in the middle, working with Lacazette or whoever it is up front, and playing the 10 versus on the bench? He's not effective on the bench.
But in that case, you can play Willian in the 10 too. You can make a case for both. Willian can play.
No,
in the
Pepe is more effective. No, because Pepe is more effective in the 10 because he beats his man without thinking.
But so does Willian.
But you need to work. You need to work on the wing. See, in the middle you can hide defensively. You can't hide on the wing. You're very exposed.
Yeah, I think. Listen, we tried Willian in a central position last week against West Ham. It didn't really work out.
It bombed actually.
Yeah, but as I said to Tony, Arteta said that he was tired previously before that. I don't know whether he caught a bug or whatever happened, but he didn't look like he was at the races. But I'm hoping that he will be back to his normal self tomorrow. 61 people in the chat at the moment, guys. Hit that like button. It doesn't cost you nothing. I appreciate all of the commitment from you guys. And we have another super chat from Joseph. Joseph was going to ask the panel, what does Xhaka bring to the team?
Nothing.
I'm gonna let Bertram answer that and Tony because they have the ability to be subjective with this matter. Bertram and Tony.
Look, I don't. Xhaka. Tony calls him the D word. That means he's not the most, not the most athletic person on the field. I think he brings structure, leadership. He's disciplined. He does move the ball somewhat. Look, we know Xhaka is not the answer, but as I've said numerous times, all his managers have him as the first name and team sheet. Whether it's Lundberg, Emery, Arteta, Wenger, they all play him. So there must be a reason. They're watching the tapes. They're in training. They're watching the games. They know what we have in terms of the players we have. We need Partey. We know this. And I keep people saying, Aouar, Partey. It's not even close to me. We need Partey. Aouar is a nice to have. Partey is a must have.
Thank you. Just if I can go off of that, I mean, Bertram said that all these managers played him, but like, who else were they going to really play? And that's the first point, right?
It's still the same situation. It hasn't changed.
No, I know, but I just want to point that out there because you have to be fair in your reflection. Yes, they're picking him, but who else are they going to really pick?
I just said he's not the answer.
No, I know, but I'm just saying so other people also know, because a lot of people say it as well. It's not just you. And then in regards to being subjective about it, what does he bring to the team? What he brings to the team is passing, right? But as a professional football player, that's a bare minimum. So therefore, he brings nothing because everyone should be able to pass. So therefore, it's not counted as something that you bring to the team. If you're a professional footballer, as Tony said, even if you're a defender, you play with both feet. That's a requirement. So, yeah.
I can answer that. Xhaka, for me, brings nothing to the team. I mean, when he plays, he makes mistakes. His passing is woeful. When he does pass, his passing is woeful. When he does pass, it's very short passes, and I don't even think he can do that very well. I just think that right now, because we don't have anybody to replace him, that's why he's been picked by Wenger, Ljungberg, Emery, and Arteta. I think once Partey comes in, then Xhaka can go, because when he does play, he is a disappointment to me, and he's been a disappointment for the past 3 years.
Well, I'm on Planet Football's statistics for leaders of Arsenal in the 2019-2020 season, and you guys know Xhaka starts every game. It's giving me the top five in dribbles, top 5 chances created, top 5 in tackles, top 5 in big chances created, dribbles, long balls, aerial duels won, assists, shots, interceptions, and he's aerial duels won. He's not in a single one. Clearances, he doesn't even pop up in a single one.
Somehow on Twitter you'll find people giving stats that he's number 1 and everything. I don't understand. I'm
a statistician. I've been tracking this guy for years.
Yeah.
And remember, the reason why is because the guy who was in there before him, Francis Coquelin, was in the top 5 in Europe. It's a big drop, isn't it? It's a big drop.
And then we go out and buy him instead of Kante.
I'm gonna bring just a little bit of semblance to the argument. I'm as anyone who knows, I call Granit Xhaka the fastest donkey. I do not think he's Arsenal quality. However, he's playing a tune that Mikel Arteta has asked him to play. It requires him to not excel in any given part of the game of football, but it requires him to do a job, and he's doing it.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, but in terms of acquiring him to do anything outside of that, Arteta's not stupid. He knows Xhaka's limited. He knows he has no range. He knows his vision is poor to spot out things. So I agree with you, Tony. He's got him playing in a situation where he doesn't cost the team, and I've said that to you guys.
If you want to improve the team, then you get a better version of that.
The ball winner.
All of the things better.
Yeah.
Faster, quicker decisions, better passing, longer passing, more aerial wins, better
more
dribbling.
range. Yeah.
You just improve that with. So, that's why we need a horse, a stallion in that position, because it's crucial to how the team goes forward.
Yeah,
apparently, Tony, that cost £45 million.
It's worth it.
Well, he
It's worth
cost 40
paying.
million pounds.
It look like we don't have it. I'll say this though for Xhaka. In Xhaka's defense, I watched Xhaka recently against Germany. He looked really good. For Switzerland.
Yeah, but that's for
Yeah,
Switzerland.
it's a slower game, man.
No. But guys, you can't keep saying it. When he plays for Switzerland, he plays well. They're same players. Germany is a great team. They're same players, but he plays different for his country than he plays for his club team.
He plays poorly for us.
Yeah,
He doesn't help us at all.
I want to bring again a little bit of semblance to this argument again, because statistics, again, you know, you're saying that he doesn't appear in any of the statistics. I'm pretty certain if you look at all those statistics, Jordan Henderson isn't in many of them either.
But you can't compare the two, Tony. They're very.
Hang on. You can compare them because they play a similar position in the team. Jordan Henderson does what Xhaka does better. But
he does. But
he's not fantastic. He's not a fantastic player.
I agree. If you speak to a Liverpool, if you speak to
30-yard, 40-yard balls, ridiculously. Yeah.
If you speak to a Liverpool fan, they'll say that that's their weakness in the team.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see how important
that is crap. I'm sorry. That is crap. And I've said to Liverpool fans before. Nonsense.
Bertram, let me just finish. Because look how important he is to Liverpool that they made him captain. It's almost like he's their version of Xhaka. He's a weak link, apparently, to them, because he's not as good as all the other flamboyant players in the team. But he does a job, and he meshes all of that together. And that's what Xhaka does. So I don't like him, but I understand what he does.
So, guys, I think here's the thing, guys. Here's what I know in British football, actually. So in the 70s and 80s, if you dribble, that wasn't looked upon greatly, actually. In fact, it was a negative versus a positive.
No.
So we have people like RD. Wait, no. Let me say this. It's a negative. What? Look. Look, there's look. The reason why Barnes didn't play in '86 World Cup, I'm telling you history here, though. Not actually, I'm telling you what I know. They played the Donkeys in the '86 World Cup. Barnes came on. England could have won the game, even though we had Maradona's handball. Watched the game myself and laughed. That's the different reason why I didn't play. But he was also a dribbler. England didn't look favorable people who, because we're deemed selfish, that played that football. Now we're using stats for dribble. And you can dribble in oblivion and it's still a stat because how great you are because you dribble. I know the hell you're dribbling too. Doesn't talk about what the end result of that dribble was, just that you dribble. The point I'm trying to make is this. I watched Henderson last against Liverpool, against Chelsea. He played one half. He made at least 10 passes over 20 yards. The pass to Mane was on the dime that beat the defense, that created Christensen's foul on him, that gave him a red card. This notion that Henderson is a weak link is nonsense. First of all, he's always there. He can play center half on an emergency basis. He's always putting a foot in. He makes those. Wait, Tony, let me finish. My time, Tony. He makes crosses.
Xhaka played center half. Don't forget.
Wait. Yeah, not well. So we're leaking goals. Anyway, so Henderson crossed the ball brilliantly, and look at the games he plays and how well he crossed the ball. He makes 20 and 30-yard pass. He's always running. He presses. He's giving directions. Game is not just about, nowadays, what we talk about is skill and being able to beat people. But you know what? One pass can beat 4 people. A dribble has to go by 4 individuals. Let's do this in moderation in terms of how we think about these things. And not just focus on your ability to dribble and control, and that's how great you are. No, think about the holistic player, what they contribute. I heard a more recent conversation about Aubameyang be better than Mane. What the hell are we talking about? Aubameyang, and I heard Troops and DT and all these people saying he's better than Mane, giving a reason. You're thinking, Abba is a great goal scorer. That's it. Mane is a complete player. So this lack of objectivity is confusing to me, because when I see the players, when I look at the players, I'm thinking, you know what? Liverpool fans don't rate Henderson and don't realize what he brings to the team. And why would Klopp play him? Because I know Klopp knows football. Arteta knows football. Guardiola sort of knows football. I know people knock me for saying Guardiola, but I'm losing faith in Guardiola as time progresses, because he always has the most money and the best teams and still doesn't win the Champions League. But guys, we have to give credit to players who don't have the ability to beat people, because not everyone can do that. Sorry for my soliloquy, but I get frustrated with this whole concept of, you know what, you got to dribble to be a good footballer. That's nonsense.
No, but what we're saying is that we want Xhaka to take more risks. And the thing is, with Liverpool, they have so many players that take risks and take players on that if one player in their midfield doesn't do it, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't affect their team. Whereas at Arsenal, we barely have players. Like you say, Bertram, all the time, Aubameyang doesn't dribble players and stuff. You know, we're expecting our midfielders to take on players. And Joe Willock is not really that guy. He barely can do it. Xhaka is not the guy. And Elneny really isn't that guy either. So, you know, that's why there's more pressure on Xhaka. That's 40 million.
No, we don't want Apollo. We don't want people to take up players. We want to create space to make effective pass. There's a difference.
Create space by dribbling players. Yeah, just like you said,
you can create.
Number 10.
You don't have to dribble to create space. It's how you dip your shoulders. It's how you look off a player. It doesn't have to be you have to dribble by them to create space. It's how you see the pass before you get the ball, like Elneny does or Alcantara does.
Yeah,
it's two speed ahead versus react when you get the ball to make the pass.
It's about your poise. I mean, the thing that I see with Xhaka every game is when he's being rushed on the counter-attack, he doesn't know where he is. He gets twisted around. Sometimes he falls down on the floor. He just doesn't have good vision in order to track danger. And that's something that Torreira was really good at, but Tony alludes to his size. If Torreira was 3-4 inches taller, he'd be a completely different player. But it's that ability to also tackle. When Xhaka came into the league, he had more red cards than any other player. Wenger, after 6 months, told him not to go down on the floor, so he doesn't slide tackle anymore. But he's a yellow card waiting to happen in every game. So he can't even do that for most of the game. So he's very limited in what he does.
No, he does need us in yellow card stats, actually. Next to, I think Lacazette is second. I think he's number 1 in yellow cards. So he does foul people.
Yeah, but he doesn't go. He can't tackle. He just can't.
No, I agree. I don't want to defend Xhaka.
You see what Elneny does, and you're just like, wow.
How many times?
I don't want to defend Xhaka because he's not the answer.
How many times has Xhaka made mistakes that's given goals away to the other team?
Oh, it's too
many to talk about. But listen, Tony's right. I mean, Arteta and Apollo, you touched on this. Arteta has definitely made him a player that's making less of these mistakes. And that's why all these guys are jumping on him and saying, oh my God, Xhaka this, Xhaka that, because he is better, but he's still not what we like. He's average. And look, Kenjamin Gunner said it in the chat, the last one. He says Xhaka would not come into top 7 sides: Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Leicester, Spurs, Wolves, and Everton. And that's bang on. And that says everything about the player. If he can't make it into any of those teams, why are we accepting him? That's what I think.
Because we have nobody else. That's why.
Yeah, we don't have anybody else.
We do. If we wanted to put the money on the table, we could have. We can get Partey and Aouar. If we have the ambition, we can get it done. And Xhaka can be a squad player.
So I can go to write a check. You keep saying that. Write a check.
Will. If I could, I bet you if Arsenal fans around the world made a no funds page or whatever, we could seriously. I'm sure we could pull up some money to give to them. But it's
okay, so let's give Xhaka some love. Yeah, let's give Xhaka some love because
some love.
Let's get some love. Our chat room here is they like the player. So David's saying Xhaka hasn't made a mistake in over.
Come on, this guy's
really?
That's not actually true, David.
Really?
D says Arteta's been doing a great job managing these boys. Yeah, I totally agree. Curve is saying his passing is more than acceptable.
It is acceptable, but that doesn't make a player, right? Everyone is supposed to be able to pass. You're playing for freaking Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, last season he gave away the ball 5.6 times per game. Let's see how that works out this season. Sammy says Xhaka's a very good player. He's a good and excellent human being.
Well,
hold on. Sammy, he wasn't to me last year at the Emirates, mate. He said 2 words to me, which I haven't forgiven for yet.
One of those was off.
David said Xhaka made 15 successful long balls against West Ham in the second half.
That's a lie.
Where are you getting these stats from, David? We track the stats here on this show.
I have a question.
We had Vincey was on the watch along, wasn't he, Tony and Bertram? Yeah. He was punching the stats on.
So I have a question. If we had Everton's midfield, would we win the league?
Yeah, no, not win the league, but we would top 4, 100%. I said it. I said it when they signed it, and you guys were like, "Nah, James Rodriguez, he's not the same." Look at them; they're flying, man. 2 amazing, solid players. That's all you need. We're not asking for superstar players. We literally need 2 decent midfielders, and we have a team. to compete.
Everton's midfield are more creative. Ours isn't right now.
And better defensively with Doucouré in there now.
And Mark is asking a rhetorical question. Would you sell Xhaka for Partey? Is the sky blue? That's the one on that one. David, sorry, David. When David is talking about mistakes, he's saying Xhaka hasn't made a mistake leading to a goal in over a year. That is actually correct. Although he gives the ball away 5.6 times per game, last season he didn't cause. Yeah, you're right. You're right with that mistake. However, the season before he had 7, which was just one less than your favorite goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. So guys,
I noticed Apollo hasn't talked about David Luiz giving away 5 penalties, but he's talked about Leno.
Yeah, I mean that's penalties. It's penalties.
No, those are goals. Those are goals.
Sorry, Bertram. When I go to the Premiership website in terms of mistakes leading to goals, those aren't on there. So, but in saying that, I have acknowledged.
I cannot believe you, Apollo. I cannot believe you just said that.
I'm going to finish off, Bertram. I have acknowledged what you've said, and I put it up many times in your defense. Yeah. However, like I said, the fact that if he didn't bring them down, the chances are they probably would have scored anyway. But the fact is, he did that because he lacks pace. He doesn't have the pace, and most of the times he's dragging them down by the shoulder. And look, somebody said here today, I want to put this by you guys as well, because when I saw this, I nearly fell off my chair. Let me see if I can lock it down. It's round here. Where is it? It's the penalty one. Yeah, I saw that, and I nearly died when I saw it.
While you're searching for that,
here it is. Here it is. Got it. D has said apparently 21 penalties in the last 25 league games already.
Soft.
Most of those are United.
Crazy handballs.
Yeah, handballs are good.
And isn't it funny how late? Isn't it funny how late in the game these penalties are coming? It's almost like, what is going on? We're in the 92nd minute, 97th minute, 95th minute. This just insane.
You know why? Because they were always there, just that VAR is now having the referee go look at it and says yes.
Yeah.
Because in the Man U game, that wouldn't have happened without VAR.
The
game was blown off.
3 penalties that Leicester had was soft, and you could see that that Vardy and the other guy who scored the 3rd penalty, they were actually playing the system.
Yeah.
Can someone tell me how Harry Kane got sent off? I tried to look, but I couldn't see it. I didn't understand how he got sent off.
Yeah, that was right at the end of the game. Once the goal was scored, I switched off, so I didn't see how he got sent off. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry, no, I did. It was for dissent.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it. I was wondering. That's good news for us.
Yeah, it was for dissent.
We're so crying for that. I'm crying so hard.
Yeah. So guys, let's get some predictions all around from everybody. I'm going for a 2-2 result, and I think that's going to be my ballpark. I wouldn't mind if it was 1-1, but I just think there's going to be goals in this. Aubameyang hasn't looked too fresh in the last game, but he's been a goal machine before that, so I'm expecting him to turn up against Liverpool. I really want him to have a good game. Lacazette, you guys know I don't really want him to start. I want Nketiah to start, but if Lacazette starts, I want him to do what he's been doing of late, which is scoring goals and working really the 70th minute, I want to see his tongue hanging out of his mouth that he's ran so hard, and then obviously Nketiah can replace him. I want to see Maitland-Niles on the left-hand side in front of Tierney, them two causing havoc with Aubameyang. That left-hand side, man, that Tierney-Niles left-hand side is so good. It's so good. And I really think, for me, it's going to be 2-2. And if that happens, Arsenal are going to stay in 3rd place. Bertram, hold on. Before I go to you, Bertram, let's see what the boys are saying. Joseph is saying 1-1. Mark is saying 2-2, same as me. GK is saying 20 incoming. 20 incoming. What's that? Oh, 2-0. Do you mean 2-0? Okay, I think he means 2-0. Kurt is saying Liverpool 3, Arsenal 2. I'll take that all day long, brother. And Victor is saying 1-1. And remember, Bertrand, before I go to you, do you remember we talked about the last 7 games against Liverpool? Liverpool have averaged 3 goals against Arsenal. And in the last 2 games, they've only got a goal in each game. So we were talking about how much Arteta's been able to tighten up that defense and make it harder for team score. I hear people talking about, it's going to be 3-0 Liverpool, 3-1 Liverpool, and Arteta's tightened that up. I don't see us letting in 3 goals tomorrow. Where do you see this one going?
3-2 Liverpool. Look, I don't look. The attacks come from the wing. Leno is poor in the air. It's going to be very difficult to stop those attacks. Now I think Maitland Miles will shut down Salah, and it also depends on who Arteta plays will determine the score. Because if he falls in love with Ceballos, if he plays Tierney, Gabriel, I'm not sure how that's going to work in terms of who plays on the right. I know Tony says anybody's a footballer can play on the right. I don't agree. I don't know what team he's going to put out, and that would maybe plays Elneny and Xhaka and plays AMN. He can put the other players around him, as far as I'm concerned. So that will work. He's going to play David Luiz. I don't see David Luiz not playing. So it's going to be depends on who he plays tomorrow will determine the results of the game. But I do think Liverpool will win because I do think the cross is going to come fast and furious. And I'm not sure we pressure them enough on the wing. Also, what Willian turn up? Does Willian pressure Alexander-Arnold? Or maybe no, it's not. It's going to be Abba. Abba won't pressure him. Does William pressure Robertson on the right? Because you got to make them pay for playing high. You have to make them stay back because that's where their attack comes from. So unless you press them with your people in terms of pressuring their outside players, it's going to be a very difficult game.
So what's your score? 3-2
3-2 Liverpool.
Okay, David said apparently Tierney injured, class natural play. No, bro, Tierney.
No, he's
in training.
I can actually show you. Colin sent me a text this morning when they were down there at 9 o'clock this morning. He's actually in training, and his training went very well as well. So who did it? So it was actually him and Smith Rowe that came back to training this morning. I was talking to you guys last week about Pablo Mari. Pablo Mari, I forgot to update you on it. He actually failed his physical on Wednesday, so he's not back in training yet. Okay, so that's Pablo Mari. L'African Guna, where do you see this one going? What's your prediction here, mate?
Yeah, still not confident. I mean, firstly, please. I mean, if we play Kolasinac, his market value will be negative. We're going to have to pay someone to take this guy. So please don't play Kolasinac. I'm 100% sure that my boy Tierney is going to play tomorrow. He is so important to this team. It's absolutely incredible. It's kind of scary to see because, as we said, our left side is so dangerous, and this kid is just so comfortable on the ball, defensively strong, offensively strong. I mean, just the perfect all-around game. He's going to have to start, without a doubt. I think even if he's 90% fit, he's starting. I think Xhaka and Elneny will both start. I have a sneaky feeling that Pepe might start because of just his pace, and then maybe Willian will come on. But if Willian starts, as Bertram said, he needs to be really good. I'm okay with Eddie Nketiah playing as well. To be honest, I'm happy with the way he's playing so far. And I did want to say Reece Nelson, that was the best game that he had against Leicester. See, I'm fair, Apollo. I know you said in that last podcast that I shame these kids and stuff, but listen, Martinelli is one of my favorite players. When I see a kid that has talent, I'm straight up with it. And that was the best game Nelson ever played. I mean, his pressing was, oh my God, that was amazing to watch. I loved watching that. So, I mean, yeah, for me, I think we're going to lose 3-1, let's be honest. And there's part of me that wants us to lose. And as sad as that is to say, no, Tony, I swear, I feel like the only way we're really going to sign Partey and Aouar is if we get a smacking, because I feel if we draw and stuff, it's not going to feel like, we need the players. It's going to be like, oh, look, we drew Liverpool. We're top 3 in the league. We don't need these players. We can do, no, this is the Arsenal mentality. Don't shake your head, because this is how it's been season after season after season. We've always been in this situation where we know we need players, and then we're like, no, Holding is coming back. Oh, Elneny's coming back. He's a brand new signing. So I don't know.
I mean, look, I can't even tell you guys how much texts I get every morning. We're working really hard, African Guna, to get these deals done. It is tough. It's not easy, man. It is not easy. And the reason why somebody mentioned about Thomas Partey and why it's because it's easier to buy a player over 3 years payment than it is it's like your car insurance. It's easier to pay your car insurance over 12 months than just to pay it all at once. And that's where Arsenal are with Partey. It's not an easy, Atletico are not dropping their demands at the moment. At least President Jean-Michel Arce, at least he's coming to the table and he's talking to Arsenal. And obviously, Aouar's told him that he does want to go to Arsenal and he's sorted out terms with them. So at least Lyon are listening and at least Lyon are in conversation. The video I dropped today said we haven't talked to Atletico in 10 days. There's been nothing, no correspondence at all. And that's why I said that the Partey deal for me is 30%. It's for me, it's dying.
Okay, so I wanna talk very briefly on this transfer strategy. To your point, the African Guna, Arsenal never panic buy on a basis of a Tonkin. So the fact that we get a Tonkin tomorrow will not force Arsenal into making a panic buy. That just doesn't. We don't.
Do you remember when we bought Arteta and Mertesacker and all those players in the last? Come on.
Can I
2012.
just talk about this? So, and obviously, Apollo, you're closer to the situation, but we have a habit of doing business really late in the transfer window, and there's no reason to believe that's going to change. And the reason I believe that we wait until we right in the end of the window is you can sometimes do a deal when a team gets desperate to offload a player they realize that they don't want to hold on to. So look at our players right now. Nobody's bidding on Mustafi. Nobody's bidding on Socrates. Nobody's bidding on Guendouzi. Nobody's bidding on Xhaka. Torreira. Why have we not got rid of Torreira? Because teams are thinking, hang on a second, Arsenal will get desperate next week. In the next 7 days, Arsenal will get desperate to make that money for Partey, and they will off.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, you're 100% right. And not just that, but Atletico's going to get desperate with Partey's money. And Lyon's going to get desperate. That's how the game's played, guys.
Trust me, believe me, but African Guna, I do not want us to get a Tonkin to force a reaction out of Arsenal, because we don't work like that.
Yeah.
What we will do is we will wait till the 11th hour and do a deal a la Mesut Ozil, because you know what? We know that when it comes down to it, in that 11th hours, teams get desperate.
So I'll say this, which is I agree with Tony wholeheartedly, but here's another thing. What African Guna is missing. Arteta is not here to be top four. Arteta didn't tell Aubameyang you want to be top four, so you should stay and build legacy. What Arteta is here to do is dominate. He doesn't want to play three at the back. He wants to dominate. So what he wants to do is have the best players and the best team on the field. Now he has to work with the parameters of the finances he has to try to achieve that. And Tony's right. We're playing a chicken and mouse game because Lyon wants to sell Aouar. There's no doubt about that. That's why the person is talking so much. They need money, they have to sell him, but they're playing this game of chicken, which is, you know what, we're going to keep him because we're trying to make Champions League. No, you are desperate. Your league finished early. You have no money. You're not selling your other forward to Barcelona. You have to sell Aouar is your biggest thing, but you want to maximize your return on the player. Yeah. We're going to get Aouar. I'm more concerned we're going to get Aouar and not get Partey. I think Atletico will put their foot in and say, you know what? Look, we need the money, but you know what? We got Suarez. He'll probably help us get through this year. Things will change next year. Partey's going to help us get to where we're going to get to. Why should I take your 30 million when I can get 15 more million next year?
And remember, guys, I have to keep reminding you guys that Thomas Partey's release clause ended on the 30th of June. And the only reason why that figure is still there is because they are doing what the player wants. The player has said to them, yes, I do want to go to Arsenal. So they have managed to just keep that in good faith. They can ask 100 million for him. They won't. But I'm just saying that they can pretty much do whatever they want. But the one thing I've noticed with the Aouar deal and the Thomas Partey deal is that the presidents have been very true to their word in terms of giving the player what he wants. This is not what we saw with Zaha. Zaha was rated 40 million, and as soon as they found out Arsenal wanted, and the player told, what was his name? Can't remember what the Simon. The owner's name. Yeah, as soon as they told Paris what the deal was, he doubled the price, and that is foolish because no one's playing that nobody is giving you that money for Zaha. Nobody. And I feel bad for the guy because he's an Arsenal fan. He wants to play here, and he's not getting his move. Whereas if you look at the other players that we mentioned, their teams have said, you know, you were a good servant to us. In good faith, we're going to give you what you want. Simple as that.
I think in response to your point about the percentages of Thomas Partey coming to Arsenal being at 30%, I actually think they're higher because Simeone has publicly come out and said he wants Torreira. You can't get Torreira and not do something in exchange.
Of course, because he doesn't want to get left short. That's why he wants Torreira. There's 110 people watching this live. Please hit that like button, guys. It doesn't cost you nothing, and it helps the channel out because other Arsenal fans will be able to see the stream. And welcome to all the new subscribers. A ton, there's over 200 new subscribers in the last week. So welcome to you guys as we're on our way to 5,000 subs. Really appreciate it. And everybody who's listening as well, don't forget tomorrow we have a live watch along with the Liverpool versus Arsenal game at 7:45. We'll be in at 7:30, and we'll be talking about the team sheet, and we'll be giving you play-by-play commentary as well. So I'm not sure who out of my panel is going to be able to make the game, but I hope we're able to have some fun tomorrow evening.
Can I just address some of the points that we just discussed before Tony gives his prediction? I just wanted to say that I take everything on board. Tony's 100% right. Of course, you're playing chicken and mouse, but we don't have the luxury to play chicken and mouse. And second of all, if you're saying that we can only afford one player and we don't have the finances for both to pay it over 3 years or whatever, we've sold Martinez. We have money there. That's 25 million. We bought a keeper for 1 million. We have 24 million. We sell either Torreira, Mustafi. We literally only need to sell 2 or 3 players to buy Partey. And I don't want to come into a situation where we don't buy him because it's imperative. We need him over Aouar. Aouar is a bonus. He's going to be an Ozil. He's going to be a Pepe. He's going to take time to settle into the league. I do not want that. I want a player who's going to come in right now, come into the team, play with Xhaka, and transform the team. Of course, Arteta wants the best players, but if he really wants the best players, we got to put the money where our mouth is. We can't always be stingy and stuff, right?
Look, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, and you're passionate and you speak from the heart. But I've told you before, listen, the finances at Arsenal are not great. They are not good, mate.
Look at Wolves. Look at Everton.
Everton. At Arsenal, we have some serious cash flow issues. And we are walking on eggshells. And unfortunately, this is what's happening at the moment now. I know I've said this to you before, and it's frustrating for you because you've seen, Chelsea going up throwing up by.
No, I'm not comparing to Chelsea. Players. I know they have money, but I'm looking at Wolves and other smaller teams, and they are making the bit. Look, Everton made 2 signings we seriously could have made, and we wouldn't have needed to make any more signings. I would have been happy with Rodriguez and Doucouré for 45, 50 million.
Our target's 50 million, man. Our targets are way more than Everton's.
But we don't have the money, so how are they? You know what I mean? I really hope you guys.
And the thing is, guys, we're gonna run a circle here. So you don't know what the finances are. You only know what Villa's payment is. Is it 3 years? Is it really 25 or is it 16? Is it 10 this year? We don't know what it is until we don't. They haven't imparted to us what the finance situation is. We have no idea. That 20 million may have went to do something else. That's an imperative. That's way more important than getting a transfer. We don't know this. Until we get the clarity, we don't know this.
Bertram, that 20 million we got from Martinez is paid for what?
Is it paid up? Is it 20 million cash?
It's 20 million cash, yeah? But do you know?
I heard it was 16 plus add-ons.
Well, it's about 18 plus add-ons, so it does work out to about, and that's appearances. He's going to play over 20 games for them. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be 20 million. But what I'm saying is 20 million is a second-year down payment on Pepe for us. So
exactly.
Selling Martinez has paid for a player we bought last year, his second-year payment. That's what selling. So everyone's saying, oh, we've got this Martinez money. We can do this. We can do that. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool can't pay because they're still paying off for Mane and Salah and all these players that they had over 3 or 4 years. What I'm saying to you is, I'm going to preempt something. I'm going to preempt something. When Aouar comes to Arsenal, guess what? Next year, we would have Pepe's 3rd year to pay, Aouar's 2nd year to pay, and it bumps. And then when we don't buy nobody, you're going to be like, why aren't we buying anybody? But
but also don't forget, Apollo, that we also have an extra 10 million from the loss of Mkhitaryan's wages. So you haven't counted that in. And next year we get an extra 18 million from the drop of Ozil's wages.
34 million, Tony. 650 grand a week. Million.
But how much is Gabriel? How much does Gabriel cost? And what's Gabriel payment plan?
22.
But what's the payment plan for Gabriel?
He's on 60 grand a week and it scales to 90 grand a week.
No, I'm saying, did we pay one payment? Is it one we paid 20 something, or we paid in installments?
It was one payment. It was one payment. It wasn't over a year. Yeah, it was one payment. So let me go back to the guys in the chat. Lee is saying it's going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. Kenjaman has said it's going to be a 3-0 loss. If we play the tank. Oh, hold on. He says if we play Klasnach, we're going to lose 3-0.
Even if he does play.
JK said it's a draw. Cool K says Arsenal 3-1 win. I'm just trying to see if there's any other predictions. It doesn't look like it. So Tony, what's your prediction?
So I'm a bit like Ebony. I'm very optimistic. I fancy Arsenal for a 3-1 win, just like Cool K. Yeah, why not Cool K? We've seen some strange results this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's not forget, we aren't playing at Anfield with that 12th man, because that 12th man at Anfield is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So listen, why not, man? We've got 2 wins under our belt against Liverpool. They got to be fearing us and thinking, oh no, not Arsenal. We shouldn't be thinking, oh no, not Liverpool. We've won the last 2 games.
I can
one in our stadium, one on in a neutral venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not going to Anfield with their 60, 70,000 fans. We're going into an empty stadium again.
Yeah.
So let's
Hey, Tony,
guys.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
When last time they lost at Anfield, crowd or no crowd?
Bruv, I understand what you're saying.
Marnie hasn't lost a game at Anfield.
Yeah. All right. So let's forget about that. Let's forget about that, Bertrand, and go back to Tony, because Tony was on a skit right there. Yeah. Did you hear Jurgen Klopp's conference yesterday?
Yeah.
He is shitting it. And I told you guys, when you saw their faces on the sideline in the Community Shield when they lost, you looked at Salah, you looked at Mane, you looked at all the players' faces, you looked at Jurgen Klopp's face. Jurgen Klopp's face was like, what the hell just happened? He just said, what the hell just happened? And me and Bertram talked about this before, and we said Arsenal stopped Liverpool from playing. They attacked them. Arteta came at them. Maitland-Niles was superb in that game. We just took them to the sword. And I mentioned over the last few games, we didn't do it against Leicester, didn't do it against West Ham. We were relatively sitting back, not attacking, not pressing. Be sure the team that presses tomorrow and attacks the most and keeps up the intensity and the attitude will win that game, because Jurgen Klopp is seriously concerned about Mikel Arteta. Believe that.
But he didn't have Thiago, though.
Thiago messed up. You never see Thiago trip over the ball and let a goal in.
Thiago had the most passes in a half in Premier League history.
Trip up, don't even let a goal in, man.
In his first game, in his first half of his first game in a new league, he had the most in the Premier League history. And when you watch him play, he's making 40-yard look-away passes. We're not talking about looking at the man 40. He's like a quarterback looking right and throwing left.
Okay, so do you know what Eddie Nketiah did to Fabinho in the Community Shield?
He's not Fabinho. He's Thiago. He just won the Champions League.
Right. So if you stick a man on him and stick to him like glue, let's see how good he is. When you take out,
I hope he's not like I said, because he's too slow. He's a donkey.
I agree. But guys, this is about tactics. It's about nothing else. And I just talked about how scared Klopp is at Arteta. You seriously, if you guys haven't watched that conference, go and watch Klopp's conference. He is crapping it. Because
I don't think he's scared. I think he's
Arteta has a brain and understands.
I agree with him. 100%.
He's not scared. He's very respectful. He understands talent. He knows talent. That's what Klopp knows about.
And he's playing strategy. And they lose. He's gonna look stupid, right? So he's taking the smart avenue, being respectful, being professional, polite. And if they lose, he's just gonna say, "I told you." He's a good
Look, Tony. Before you give your prediction, understand one thing. If we lose tomorrow, and this is to all the 130 people watching in the chat as well. If we lose tomorrow, guys, there's nothing to be ashamed of. These are the champions who walked the Premiership last season. We were 40 points behind them last season. If we lose, guys, don't drop your heads. No, it doesn't. Yeah, look, the last two games.
4-0 and then say, come on.
I can't think like that because we're a better team defensively than African Guna. We're going to give them a game. We're going to give them a game tomorrow.
You know, tomorrow we can look like back to square one. Everything is gone, you know. So that's what I'm saying. I have confidence in Arteta, of course, but with Arsenal, there's always surprises. And just saying, just be wary. Let's not forget that we haven't won there in 8 seasons. 8 seasons. That's 8 years.
Yeah.
So let's be careful.
So Tony, you just got a big shout out here as well. Facebook user who hasn't put the waiver on the top of the page, hasn't signed the waiver, so we don't know who you are, says, I agree with Tony. The 12th man at Anfield crowd is a disadvantage with them. I'm going with a draw or Arsenal win. Kuke saying spot on, Apollo. I normally base what I say with facts. Tony, drum roll.
So yeah,
prediction.
I've already actually done it. I did say 3-1, but I will also mention that as a caveat that Thiago, great point that he's playing. Let's not also forget they picked up another player called Jota, who is a baller. Don't know if they fit him in tomorrow, but he's a baller, and yeah, we should be wary.
Thiago is out for tomorrow, by the way. I read that he's injured, so he's not playing tomorrow. Okay. They have like 4 injuries. I think even Alisson's not playing tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting for us. It's a positive for us. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah. You know what? I sometimes don't like to listen to these stories about players being injured.
I agree.
You know what happens?
Information is always key, though, Tony. I'd rather have the information than not have it. But
but that's Mourinho shit, man. That's Mourinho.
Yeah.
That's Mourinho. 5 players can't make it this weekend, and then all of them turn up.
You guys knew what Mourinho said about his team? He's dissing his own team, man.
Listen, look, guys, we must be so happy with the results this weekend. And like I said, guys, don't feel any shame if we lose tomorrow, man, because we ain't lost nothing, but it's going to be a tough run. We got such a hard game. Like African Guna last week when we were talking about Leicester City said he wanted to see Aubameyang and them not play. African Guna, before I go to you, Ebony, for your prediction, African Guna, do you think that in Thursday when we play Liverpool, we have to play Sheffield United 2 days after on the Sunday? So I reckon we're going to see the kids again on Thursday. But
100%.
He might play Aubameyang. I mean, you don't know.
No. I think you're right. No, 100%.
Both teams are going to play kids except Xhaka and Mino. And those players will play for Liverpool, frankly. They'll play a good team. Because they have that.
Ebony.
Okay. Before I get into my prediction, this game on Thursday against Liverpool, the second game in in 1 week?
4 days.
4 days. I can't see Liverpool play because it's Arsenal and because they want to win and because they want to, should they lose tomorrow, then they want revenge. So I can't see both teams playing kids at all, especially Liverpool. I'm going to be optimistic as I always am. I'm going to say 2-1. I think we can do it, particularly if we play Tierney and Maitland-Niles on the left. Okay, if that happens, the left-hand side sorted. What was that? So anyway, So if that happens tomorrow, the left-hand side is sorted. I think if Willian plays again, I think he'll be up for it. Maybe he had an off day against West Ham. I don't know. Nobody knows. Would I play Pepe? Yes, I would. But then he would need to be on top of his game tomorrow. None of these fancy tricks, none of this holding onto the ball for too long, which he normally does in every game. He needs, as I've always said, Pepe is a player that needs time, and I'm prepared to give him time. But this is a big game tomorrow, so he has to stop with the fancy tricks and just play the ball. So I'm gonna.
Fancy tricks is football.
He does. He tries to do the step overs.
Yeah, I know what she's talking about, Tony. I know what she's talking about.
Come on,
he does the step overs all the time, and we don't have that luxury. He's not Ronaldo.
He needs to be more direct.
He needs to be more direct. He needs to cut that shit out. So I'm gonna go for 2-1, and I think we can do it. I think Pepe, not Pepe. I think Klopp. Is he scared? You know, is he saying this because he wants to be polite? Is he trying to play mind games? I don't know, but you know, I don't think he's as scared as. I don't think Klopp is as scared of Arteta as he makes out. I just think it's just mind games, really. So you know, but I think we'll win. I'm remaining optimistic. Same optimism as I had against Man City, as I had against Liverpool, as I had against Chelsea. That's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Every game. What do you mean? Every game.
Yeah, we got a fight here between Surd saying you're amazing. I like your opinion, girl, and 18 going, hey, my Nubian queen. There's a fight in the chat room at the moment. So guys, so that's the prediction of where we all see it, and we've heard from you guys as well. I just want, before we shut up today, let's spend another 10 minutes just going in and grading what we've done in the transfer market so far. So obviously the first player we're going to look at is Willian. We'll go to Willian, Gabriel, Ceballos. We can't grade Alex Runason. I thought they should have played him against Leicester in Carabao Cup. I was shocked. I mean, is Leno's confidence that fractured that you had to pay him in the Carabao Cup? I mean, what was that all about?
Game time. I think he'll play on Thursday. I think it's game time because we're playing Liverpool, so he needed 3 consistent games or 2 consistent games. I think on Thursday we'll play him.
Yeah, and we can't talk about
and we got rid of Martinez, yeah.
Yeah, we can't talk about Pablo Mari and Cedric Soares as well. They are new buys who signed new contracts this summer, but they haven't really featured for the team, so we can't really talk about them. So Willian, let's go across the board. Bertrand, what would you grade Willian? Guys in the chat as well, let me know what you guys think about Willian. Where would you grade him?
I think the Willian grade, look, he's an older player, but he's Premier League tested. He's a very good player. He's a complete player, frankly. He scores free kicks, he scores penalties, he scores goals, he creates assists. He works his legs off, his socks off the entire game. He never stops running. Given that he came in a free, even though we're paying him supposedly $220, I give it an 8 actually. I think it's an excellent. It's free, and we get quality for free. You cannot complain. Well, it's not totally free because you're paying him $220. But at the end of the day, the $220, I gave him an 8 for free. William. The Chelsea want to sign him. This is not like a check where they want to get rid of because they had Courtois, or a situation where we take these rejects from Chelsea because Chelsea doesn't want them. I don't think William was a reject, actually. They wanted to keep him in a team that went out and bought all these players and had quality. They had Pulisic, they had Hudson-Odoi. He was playing over those players who are young, upcoming, and are quality. So if he's going to play with those players and we got him on the free, so if you think about his price, he probably would have gone for more than David Luiz. He probably would have gone between 15 and 20 mil. You work it out, it works out to be about 100K a year, frankly. So I think it's an 8.
Yeah,
I give it a 9, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's been 3 games.
No.
He said a grade for the transfer, not the grade
grading for the transfer. We're grading
the quality of the transfer.
Well, we know what the performances are. He's been playing in the Premiership for 6 years. If you don't know what he can do as a player, then it's
no, but I mean, you can't just give a grade of signing if they're not playing, right? Because you can have an amazing signing who ends up being a bad performer, and then
that's why we're grading the signing. We're talking about what we've done in the transfer market so far. We've got a week left. What do you think of the business we've done so far? I grade William an 8 as well. And I grade him that way because he is the one deciding factor of one of the 2 weaknesses we have in the team. Well, now that Martinez has gone, we've got 3 weaknesses in the team now. One is set pieces, one is creating goals, and the other is a defensive midfielder. We still have problems defended, in defensive midfielder. We still have problems defending set pieces with Leno in charge. But the creativity, we've taken someone who was one of the best in the league, and we've already seen spots of what it looks like when this guy's clicking. In his first game, he nearly had 3 assists. I think it's a fantastic buy. This is how you plug holes in. This is how you fit pieces in a cog. Yeah, you replace the bits that aren't working with things that are working and improve the team. And I think we've done that with this buy. I give this one an 8. African Guna, you?
Yeah, no, I find it hard to give him an 8. Like, yes, I think the 8 is fair reflection based on the transfer, but I want to give a 7 based on the all-round, meaning the transfer and how far he's fared so far. I think 7, 100% experienced. Really, what can you say? He does defensive work. As Bertram said, Chelsea wanted to sign him. Looks a very good signing so far. Let's just hope that he can persist this throughout the year and keep, providing output to the team, because that's what we need.
Okay, so Jake is giving him a 5. Wow, he's giving it an average by, yeah. Good to hear from Bobby from the 101 Facebook page. Nana's given William a 7. Cricket Ball's given William 6.5. Jake is giving him a 5 or 6 rating. D is giving him an 8. That's big boy rating there. William's quality, need more players like him. Fantastic player. Agreed, because it's a win now mentality with somebody like that. Stephen's giving William a 6 or 7 so far. Let's have a look here. Any more? No. Yes, we've got this one is a free. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name. Just let. What is it?
Can we clarify something, guys? We're talking about what's the return on my investment.
Agreed. And you've already seen
I paid zero for my investment. I got it for free. I didn't pay anything.
No, Bertram, come on. You're paying his wages.
All right, stop. Look, guys, that's Bertram's decision. That's his grade.
You got an investment, you paid 0. And the salary I get is paid over time. So I can't even present value that first salary because I paid over time. 0. You get me a player for 0. Every player got wages. So Gabriel is his wage plus the 20-something million. That's how you judge a player that you buy. Not just by what I paid 30 million and what his return was. His ability plus his wages plus what you paid for him. That's the total package. That's what the total out of pocket is in a sense in terms of what's my return on my investment. And frankly, I'm shocked. Someone give William a 3. That means William is not a baller. At all. He's no good. In fact, I have a negative return on my investment.
That means he's Xhaka. No, that
5 is breaking even.
That means he's Xhaka. And you know what? Willian had the same amount of assists in his first game for Arsenal than Xhaka did all last season, bro. Serge's giving him a 9. Mark has given him a 7. So far, William's son is a 7, but let's see at the end of the season how he will help. Yeah, because it will create more goals. Joseph's giving him an 8. Tony. What would Tony's well into a game there? I don't know who's playing at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's a big one because it's Dallas against
Seattle. Yeah. DK Metcalf. Yeah. DK Metcalf. Tony, grade on Willian.
I'm conflicted in all honesty because I understand what you're saying, Bertram, in relation to value, but he's not a free transfer.
Huh?
I don't see it as a free transfer. Even when you take the wages and everything else into consideration, you don't forget that we paid the agent huge amounts of money to do the deal. But nobody's counting that.
Yeah, I think.
Tony, is Pepe's thinking like 100 million then? That's what I'm saying. You're going to judge what you know about your investment, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Tony, again.
A 7. The best I can do is a 7. I think he's a decent player. I'm not really sure how we'll see it at the end of the season. I mean, 2 games in, 1 good game, 1 fantastic game, 1 which was neither here nor there. So I'm hoping that he comes good. I'm hoping that he becomes. I'm of the opinion that had we waited long enough, we could have got a. I just kind of look at this deal and go, could we have waited and got Wilf Zaha for less money? So we could have paid Crystal Palace some money and paid Wilf Zaha 100 grand a week. And what would we have got out of that deal instead of Willian?
I mean, Zaha's, again, we talked about Danny Ings being on a bad team and producing. Yeah, Zaha's on a average team and he's not producing. He's just not. His chances created are even half than Pepe's. 23. Willian's is 76. Willian is the 7th most creative player in the league, and Zaha is at the bottom of the barrel. and his goals are half of what Pepe, again, assists, chances created. I don't know what the fuss is about. I like Zaha as a player, but you're putting him in a category that I just
I'm putting him in a category based on Bertram's description that he is an unplayable force, and I agree with Bertram. When he's on his game, he's an unplayable force.
Yeah, I'm glad you said when.
You're basing your statistics on him in a year that he decided, I don't want to be here.
No, because if you go back to the previous years, it's the same thing. I've been tracking his statistics since he came to Palace after he went to Man United. He just doesn't produce enough. And I've said to you guys about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain when everybody was saying, yeah, glad he's replaced Walcott. And what did he do? He 7 goals in the last 5 seasons for Arsenal. You lose the production. There's no production there. So
I'll say this, which is I disagree with Apollo. Obviously, Apollo knows this about Zaha. I'm a big Zaha fan. He's unplayable when he decides to play. And the question is right when he decides to play. He's unplayable. There's very few players in the league, and I've said this on Friday in the podcast we had. There are probably 5 players in the league who are unplayable. He's one of them. I'll say this though, Tony. Do you think how do you grade Saliba? So let's go, because here's what I'm going to go to explain my rationale. How do you grade? Because Saliba hasn't played yet. He's in the under 23 and playing. He's not even on the field yet. How would you grade that?
So based on statistics from France last year, Gabriel has way better statistics.
Oh, Gabriel's off the charts, mate.
I said Saliba, not Gabriel. I said Saliba, not Gabriel.
So I'm just giving you the example. When we bought Saliba, we thought we were buying a great player.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly look at last season, you go, Gabriel is like here and Saliba's here. But Saliba still looks a great player.
Yeah, it does.
Based on his age, I would say Saliba's one for the future and is potentially an 8 or 9.
So then you can't judge, but you can't give William a logo hit with him because William got the team and Saliba didn't get. I understand the age. Don't get me wrong. I understand the fundamentals, but I'm saying Arteta believes William is ready right now, and Saliba isn't. Right. So Saliba is a potential, and Liba is actual. So.
Yeah.
So guys, so your grade is a 7, Tony.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Okay, Ebony, what do you think of the Willian deal?
Right. Considering that he is a player that we've lacked, that we've missed for quite a while, we've missed creativity. He is creative, he's defensive. He can do all the things that our midfield cannot do. I'm going to give him an 8, and that's based on the years that he's played for Chelsea in the Premier League. He could do it for us as well. And considering that he is the player that all right. I mean, yes, he's 32. Age isn't a factor if you're able to defend, make those crosses, etc., etc. So I'm going to give him an 8.
Good.
And I'll say one more thing, guys. Here's one thing to remember: he's keeping Pepe out the team.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
No, but I'm saying when you're grading a player, all these factor into the whole equation, which is he's keeping a player who people rate and who costs 70 million out of the team, and he comes free, and we're saying he's a 3 or a 4.
And if we bought Zaha,
I'm not saying Pepe's a 3 or 4. I'm not saying Pepe is good, but
no, I didn't say, but I didn't say you say that. What I'm saying is that
time out. Let's move on to Gabriel. Yeah, otherwise we'll probably hit 2 hours on this thing. Gabriel, I think that for me is a 9. For someone of his caliber, when you look at the likes of John Stones and Maguire and all these guys going for 60, 70, 80 million, we got this guy 27 million. And this guy is just his ability in the air, one-on-one duels, clearances on the overlap, tracking runners. This guy has got the whole package. And I said to you guys, this guy can be as good as Sol Campbell. He's 6'4.5". He's imposing. He's quick. He's got all the tools in his locker. And I think that I love this by 5 headed clearances in his last game, 6 before that. This guy is a weapon. He's an absolute weapon. I give this by a 9. Bertram, and guys in the chat, where would you give this by?
So I give Gabriel an 8. And I think people have to understand, I'm judging the return on my investment. My investment, Gabriel, is 22 million plus add-ons, plus his wages, right? And the first 2 games, he looks awesome. We don't disagree. He had a handball with his eyes closed when he's heading. Still cost a penalty. But regardless of that, I don't want to knock the player. I think he has all the attributes because I watch him in French League somewhat. I watch highlights. I've watched him more recently. The thing I love about him is that at some point he's going to tackle you. Unlike David Luiz always running beside you. He's going to stop and say, here's the road ends. I'm going to put a foot in. He's very, very physical. He's physical. He's quick. He has all the physical attributes. And he also passes the ball really well. But I take the holistic person and what my output is to then judge how I would judge you. And I can't say you cost me 22 million and 5 add-on and 60 salary and then say, you know what, you're better than William who cost me nothing. I know what Tony said about agent fee. Agent fee is probably more because the agent fee can be based on what was paid out of pocket. So I can't give him a 9 and give William an 8 when William cost me nothing.
It's funny because I gave him a 9 based on the fact that Maguire went for 80 million, John Stones went for 50 million. All these, I gave him a 9 based on that. The fact
that's
that
a good point, Apollo. Even though I think a tank, I wouldn't buy a tank that can't turn for 80 million. I'm sorry, my tank has to be able to turn.
I agree.
Or a John Stone who can't get into the team. Even when they play Garcia, they play anybody, Otamendi, anybody but him. That suggests it was a bad buy.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree that when Liverpool won the title, we talked about them getting Firmino, Salah, Mane for 30 million, and Arteta looked at that and said, "Look, we better build a team like that." And what have we done? We've got Saliba, we've got Gabriel, we've got Tierney, and how much did they cost? Yeah, the same ballpark that we're talking about. So look, I love the buy. La African Guna. Actually, before you go, let me just clean these ones up. Victor's given him an 8. Cricket Ball's given the Gabriel by a 7.5. Mark has given him a 9. Bare 9s we're going to see here now. Kenjaman's given him an 8. Oh, that's Gabriel. Yep, he's actually given Willian a 7. And Nell's given him a 10.
I say it's a 10.
Mark has given him a 9. Have I missed a few here? 18's given him a 10. JK's given him a 6. D's given him a 9. Cool K's given him a 10. Kurt's given him a 10. Right. And African Guna, you got the conch.
Yeah, so for me, I think Bertram echoed a lot of things, which I said, by the way, and I think I was the first one on this podcast to call that we were signing him when you guys all said, "No, we're not signing a center back." I went back to that video and I watched it, and I was the one who said that we were going to sign him, and he's been phenomenal since we've signed him. As Bertram said, one-on-one, I mean, the way he stands up to players, he'll go on the wing and he'll stand you up, right? And he'll say, "Okay, what are you going to do now? Because you know you ain't passing me." And I love that attitude because he's so confident in his ability to take on players. So, and I love to see that. So for me, I'm going to give him an 8.5 for the time being, just because I don't think it's fair to give him a 9 when I haven't seen, I want to see a little bit more of him before I really say 9. But I mean, so far, so good for the price, as you said, the 22 million. These are the type of players we as Arsenal should have been buying many seasons ago. As you said, 25 million on each, Saliba, Tierney, and Gabriel. And that's what we need to be doing throughout the entire team. Victor said that he could play as DM. So, I mean, I'm just going to disregard every other thing that Victor says because I think that's quite foolish.
Oh, God. All right, guys. So let's just have a look here to remind you guys who was the person that we bought before I go to Tony. So let's have a look at this. So Gabriel was first in the team in tackle successes. He was actually 4th in the whole league. He was 2nd on the team in clearances. He was 1st in dual successes. He was 2nd in the entire league in dual successes. Jules won. He's 1st on the team in passes. He was 6th in the whole league in passes. Yeah, aerial success. He was 1st in his team and 2nd in the whole of La Liga. 2nd in aerial successes. He's an imposing figure, guys. This all for 27 million. Tony, you got the conch.
So, for everything you just said, he's a 9. And just based on the eye test from the first few weeks, he's a 9. That guy is a stallion.
LeBron
I really
James.
believe we have picked up a gem. Done.
Yeah, excellent. So, Sayed it says, what does it say? 101, I swear to God, it's a 10. It's a 10. Well, I gave a 9, but it's a 10 for you, bro. That's all that counts. My man's just bashing up Gabriel and giving him a 5 here.
What?
Joseph, listen, that's like the 3 that we saw for Willian. Joseph's Gabriel is better than anything we've had on defense by far, 9.5. Damrus is giving him an 8.
So Tony, I just want to say on your points, by the way, the next 2 players or 1 player that we buy has to be gems as well. We need to have the exact same feelings about this next player that we get, because this next player is the make it or break it for the season for us. I truly believe it is in midfield. So I really hope
pressure. That's pressure. That's pressure on one player.
Ebony, where would you see
Arsenal? There's
Gabriel?
pressure on every single player that plays for Arsenal. That's why you play for a big club and you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah,
man.
but I mean, some players need time. Gabriel, I'm giving him a 9.
Sorry, just on that,
9.
if a player needs time, Ebony, we shouldn't be signing them because we don't have the luxury.
But the thing is, over the years, when I've seen Arsenal buy players, it's because people have actually picked them up on YouTube, or Arsene Wenger in the future has liked the way a certain player has played in a particular game, so therefore he's gone out and bought them, and then everyone starts guessing, and then they come over to Arsenal and they've been shit. Xhaka, the prime example.
Listen,
is another example.
Nah, I
don't think you're going to see much. Stefanovs. Who was the other guy?
Lichtsteiner.
I don't think you're going to see much of those guys with Edu and Arteta. I really don't. But you know what? Listen, guys, every team buys stinkers. That's how it works. It's a gamble. Every player you buy is a gamble. Ceballos. Let's go with Ceballos, and after this, we'll close up. Bertram, Ceballos.
I don't know what the loan fee is.
No loan
for
fee. No loan fee. We played 12 million.
I think
no loan fee.
He was here last year. He played really well in the second half of the season. I'd probably say a 7.5. Closer to an 8, frankly, because he starts a lot of games. If there's no loan fee, we're paying salaries less than 100K a year. It's probably almost similar to a Willian, frankly, because he goes back next year. But if you have no loan fee, you're only paying his salary. It's almost like on a free because he's under 100K. In the Premier League, if you make under 100K, it's almost like free. So I'd probably say, you know what? It's a 7.5.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that after this year, guess what? He has 1 year left on his contract, so he can literally do what he wants. And I read somewhere that actually that the final year of his contract is an option. So he can negotiate to void the final year, but that's only if Madrid. And remember, this was a player who was valued at 38 million last summer. And I think they've done well in getting him. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he fits what Arteta wants to do well. I think he's a stud at international level. We've seen him. He was a player of the tournament in the under 21 World Cups. He's really good when he's on his game. I just don't think he's been allowed to settle at Arsenal very well. And that's why Bertram alluded to the fact that at the tail end of last year, he was really good. And that's because he settled. Before that, Emery had him in and out. He had him playing various positions. Look, Emery really messed up a lot of players like Torreira by playing them in awful positions. Elneny, we know how it works. Arteta seems to be just putting people in the right position to be successful. I give him a 7. I think that he's got what it takes to make the system click, and that's why he's here. If he didn't, then Arteta wouldn't take him. But I know that he can be a squad player moving forward. He might sign for Arsenal permanently. We don't know. He's still 23. So
but I'd say in Emery's defense, he started out with a hail of. He was great his first game or first 2 games. Awesome. Then he played against Liverpool and he was a dud. He was like a chicken without a head. He was lost in that game. So then Emery lost confidence in him and it didn't work out that well for some parts of the season. But look, he's a good player. He likes to hold the ball a lot, like Guendouzi does, and he doesn't necessarily make the forward pass in dangerous positions as much as you'd expect with somebody with his skill.
So Kurt has gone for a 7. Cricket Ball's gone for 7. GK's gone for a 7. Kenjiman's gone for a 7. Everyone's gone for a 7. Sauda's gone for a 7. Mark has gone for a 7. Joseph, 7. And my man here with the name that I don't really want to go through, he's gone for a 6. Stella Boss, not impressed yet. And that's fair. That's fair, bro. D's gone for the 8. Big baller, man. Heartbeat of Mikel setup. One of the best players towards the end of last season. Agreed. Played a major role in us winning the F Cup. Agreed. Forever grateful to the guy. Victor has gone for an 8. Danny, the only box-to-box player we've got. Agreed. Agreed. Saad's gone. Oh, Mickey's talking about Mikel Arteta now. And Young Mark has gone for Gibson, 9.5. Gibson? Huh? Tony, African Guna, sorry, you got the conch on Ceballos.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 6.5. I agree with a lot of what everyone has said, but I just don't think that he's the one. I mean, Bertram literally put it on the nail right now. Guendouzi, like they're exactly the same player. Guendouzi holds onto the ball like Ceballos. Guendouzi can do everything that Ceballos does, and the fact that he's not in the team is just hurts, man. It hurts because we really don't need Ceballos if Guendouzi is playing, right? And Ceballos is taking space, even though we're paying him low wages. He's taking space in that midfield for us. I think he can be a squad player, but then again, Elneny is playing as good as Ceballos right now. Let's be real. So, yes, it's good to have him, but I don't think that he's the be it and end all. I think that he's going to have an up and down season. He's going to have, periods of the season where he's really good, and then periods of the season where we're like just calling him a yo-yo, just, a spinning yo-yo. So I'm hoping he can contribute to the team. He did play very well at the end of last season. I just feel like he's, him and Xhaka, for me, they don't gel well enough. If you put Partey next to Ceballos, I think he's a different player automatically. So I also think that doesn't help. But yeah, I'm giving him a 6.5.
Tony.
I think I agree with the African Guna. I think I'm going to go with a 6.5 because based on what we saw last season, a lot of the season he wasn't really that effective. He looked a tidy player, but as Bertram says, effective possession, he wasn't really that good because we don't get high stats on assists, key passes. He wasn't, phenomenal in terms of key passes. I think Ozil had more key passes than him.
Than who?
Than Ceballos.
Yeah, Ceballos had 29. Ozil 38 and Pepe 40, which led the team.
Right. So, it's a work in progress. So 6.5 for me.
Good. Ebony, what about you?
I'm going to give him a 7. I think he's the only box-to-box that we have. There have been times when he hasn't played well, but, maybe it's just him trying to settle into the team. Also trying to settle into the Premier League as well, because remember, he's from the Liga. So I'll give him a 7 for effort.
I wouldn't call him a box-to-box. Ramsey was box-to-box. Ceballos is box to the top of the box. He's not box. He's not a box-to-box. Ramsey's a box-to-box. Ramsey's always in the other box scoring goals. Right?
He scored one. He scored about 2 goals, hasn't he?
He's not box-to-box. He's not box-to-box.
He's not box-to-box. He scored 2 goals and 2 assists.
Aaron Ramsey gets in the box. Willock gets in the box. Willock's in the box-to-box. So is Ramsey. I don't see Ceballos as box-to-box.
But the thing is, you have to give him a full season, though, to see what he's like in this system. And I think we have to hold him to account. And we have to trust the manager as well. Arteta's got him in for a reason. You don't make all that effort to go back and get a player who you could have you have no ties with that player at all. You could have just said, No, he
likes him. It's obvious he likes him. He likes him.
Yeah.
And we trust Arteta. So if he likes him, we like him.
I think one of the things that you guys need to realize is when all the potential comes on into Arteta's window, I don't think you see Ceballos on the pitch.
Agreed.
Maybe, but at the same time, do you say that we buy the player and put him on a permanent deal? I think so.
Why? If we get the players we need, like Aouar and Partey, we don't need him. We have Xhaka, we have Elneny, we have Willian.
No. If you look at Liverpool, if you want to win the title,
Willock go on loan, and I think you see Reece Nelson go on loan because you then suddenly have a host of midfielders that you go, there's not going to be much opportunities for those guys, so we have to move. I mean, the interesting thing is obviously we have to bear in mind that we have to have our British contingent.
Yeah,
so we need some of them players for that particular reason.
Yeah.
Ideally, I think Ceballos is a player that clearly Arteta got on really well with at the end of last season because he only had half the season.
Yeah.
He knows what he can deliver, and he saw that as an easy option to bring back and utilize because he works straight back into the team.
Yes.
And it's almost like you didn't miss a step.
Agreed.
Yeah, there was no 3 months gap in between the season ending and the season beginning. So it made sense.
He's one of your generals. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of your generals.
Yeah, I think Arteta is disingenuous, though.
I just want to answer this question here.
No, wait, Apollo. Arteta is disingenuous. So he will say they all have an opportunity to play because they're all in training. That's not true. He's not playing Ozil. He's not playing Guendouzi. I'm not a big Ozil fan, but that's disingenuous as a manager. Don't say anything, but don't tell us that they're all in training, they all can play when you know that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know why he said that, and I don't know whether it was a PR stunt, but it sounded like it. Elliot John instead of John Elliott. Elliot John is saying Nelson definitely needs a loan. We need to be careful because remember Martinez, for as much as we had him, he was a homegrown player. He was a development player. And if we let too many of them go, we'll be under the cost. Remember, we have to have 8. So if that's the reason why we're looking at now, I know we've got George Lewis, who we just bought, but you can't sort of start to get rid of Maitland-Niles and get rid of Joe Willock and get rid of, because otherwise you're then under the amount that you have to have in the league. Those are the rules. You need 8 homegrown players as a minimum, and then you need 17 other prime veteran players as a maximum. And that's how you get your 25 squad. So that's a very dangerous road.
I think we're too over the limit, actually. I think we're too over the limit.
I was going to say we've got we've got room to let 2 go, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we got to watch the numbers there. So guys, that's it for today. Tomorrow.
I have one thing to say, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Just the people who are comparing Ceballos to Guendouzi, I just want to remind them that we haven't seen Guendouzi play under Arteta, which I think people forget because, look, all the players are playing much better under Arteta. Imagine what Guendouzi can become under him. That's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying they're the same player, and I'm not saying that Ceballos and Elneny are the same player, but there isn't that much of a difference where you're saying, that we're going to really miss him. He's not that star player. So keep in mind that Guendouzi can be a really good player for Arsenal under Arteta.
Yeah, but remember when Arteta had got the job and it was at Everton, it was Freddie Ljungberg's last game in charge, and Arteta was watching on stands, and he went to speak to Jamie Carragher, and Jamie Carragher said, which player in Arsenal setup have you been monitoring? Because Arteta was doing all the homework before he even took the job. He said, which is the player you're most excited to work with? And he said, when me and Pep was breaking down this team, we were the most excited about Guendouzi. That was one name, one player. And as I said to you guys,
I think Guendouzi is Dele Alli.
It's not difficult because, as I pointed back to the beginning of last season, in the first 10 games we were in third place, he was our best player. You know, so it's not difficult for Pep and Arteta to identify. Look, it's a real shame what's happening to him. I'm disgusted, really, because for me, I would think that Arteta, Vinay, and Edu would find a way back for somebody who is 20 years old, who's made a mistake. I don't think you throw this guy under a bus, and I think we've thrown him under a bus. I think what we're doing with him is wrong, and I think for someone like that, this is where man management comes into effect. I don't care about the Ozil. I'm the biggest Ozil fan here in this whole panel. I don't really care what's happened to him because we don't have a future with the player. But Guendouzi, his skill set his ceiling is off the scale. And look, he's going to be a stud for the French national team. He's going to be a quality player. And what are we doing with him? Nothing. So,
well, the only reason why I said is Dele Alli because if you remember, Marino saying that Fergie told him one place to go buy is Dele Alli. And now Marino is throwing Dele under the bus and basically don't want anything to do with him. At least it appears that way. Similar to the same discussion between Carragher and Arteta about Guendouzi, similar concept, which is they're young players, very talented, yet their managers have them in the doghouse. I don't see a way out for Guendouzi because if you haven't played him then and you're saying that he's part of the team, but it's really not. Ozil is a different case. Ozil is an older player who's making too much money. Guendouzi is not being paid a ton of money, so I'm not sure what the story is on that.
90K. It's a lot of money, but yeah.
Not for us, no.
Yeah.
20-year-old is a lot of money.
Yeah, Dali Ali is what, 24, 25?
About 23.
We both have
No,
attitude problems. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Any closing arguments for today?
We're going to win tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to be back here tomorrow night, guys. So I just want to thank my panel, and I want to thank everybody in the chat room, guys. Remember, we're here tomorrow. Look, D is 100% agreeing with Bertram right there. We're going to be back here, and this is it. This is the game. This is the one we've been waiting for. It's not for a trophy. It's not for a cup. The 3 points doesn't even matter because where we are. No, it doesn't, because where we are positionally, as I said, a draw would still see us. A draw would still see Liverpool underneath us. It would still see us in third place. What is going to happen tomorrow is just how far has this team come under Mikel Arteta? That's the question. That's what we're going to find out tomorrow, and it's going to be a cracking game.
And I think this team so far has actually improved. If you go back 6 months ago under Emery, or even a year ago under Emery, we were poor. And for what Arteta has done with an average team, he's actually stepped them up a level. And I think tomorrow we'll see that. I'm that optimistic.
This will be the most unpredictable season in the Premier League history. And I think every point matters. And you get the points, especially early, before teams settle in, you should get it. As we're seeing with Chelsea struggling, Man U challenged, Tottenham, all over the place. We need to get the points so we can get them. If we catch Liverpool without them being bedded in, all their players on, operating the same, we should try to get the win, even the draw. And they haven't lost at home forever, but there's always a first time for everything. So sorry, go on, African Guna.
No, I was going to say my closing remarks are TikTok. To be honest, I'm not really concerned about tomorrow's game. I'm more concerned about the players that are going to come in within the next week, because that's going to determine the rest of the season. If we lose tomorrow, it's not the be because we expect to lose tomorrow. Let's be honest. If we win, of course, it's amazing, but we're playing an incredible team, which I think are going to be hungry for revenge. They're going to be a much better team than we played against the Community Shield. I'm telling you, Bertrand, that team we played, that was not the Liverpool that we see week in, week out. Tomorrow is going to be the real deal, and Mane and Salah are going to really show up tomorrow. That's for me. It's not really about tomorrow. It's about the transfer window and who we sign. I mean, if we sign Houssam Aouar, great. But for me, really, it has to be a Soumare or a defensive player like Thomas Partey. We get those two, and we are a serious team going forward. And
I think tomorrow is going to be a statement of intent from both teams. And I think that as Arsenal, and understanding tactics and understanding what Arteta's been doing against these top teams, he is going to attack Liverpool and he's going to try to break their spirit. He's going to try and break them down. Klopp knows this, and the Liverpool players know this. It's going to be a war out there tomorrow night. And as I said, the winner is going to put down a marker. If Liverpool win, they're gonna do. Look what's happened to City. City's the same damn problems as last year, which is that they lost 9 games last year. And people, that's the reason why when we had our Premiership show, a few people were saying to Bertram and me and Tony, who feature on a Friday night, Man City have got it. And a couple of, I said no. I said, look, Liverpool walked it, 18 points. You look at Man City. They might win 5-0 here and there, but the defense is atrocious. And have they fixed that? No, I can't say that they have.
Well, the defense is atrocious, and the manager keeps making mistakes because as he pulled Fernandinho today, they went down the hill. Because what happened was that safety you have on the right of the midfield went away. Pep makes mistake all the time. And look, Mendy, I won't go to City, but their defense, as you say, holistically, is a shambles. And unless they get Diaz and they get a left back, they're going to be struggling. They're not struggling, but they won't dominate. They won't dominate as they've done in prior years.
Agreed. Tony, any closing remarks?
Guys, just remember Liverpool 4, Leeds 3.
Agreed. Good point.
At Anfield without the 12th man.
Yeah, and I said that was going to be a 2-2 draw.
I more remember Liverpool 4, Barcelona. What was it? That's what I remember.
Mad thing. Ebony, any closing comments?
Like I said, we're going to win tomorrow. I'm that optimistic. You know,
I love this girl. You know,
if you, if you take into consideration Liverpool's defense isn't that great. You know, even Van Dijk has made mistakes. You know, I'm not over counting on that tomorrow. But you know, Liverpool have mistakes in them. We have mistakes in them. We just got to capitalize on the mistakes that other people have made if we're serious about being title contenders.
And
that's why we're gonna be talking about Leno and crosses when this game is over.
Oh shit, that's
See, this is my problem. This is my problem, and this is why I'm still annoyed at the fact that we got rid of the best goalkeeper that we've had since Lehmann.
Yeah.
This is why
breaking my heart every time you say that.
Robinson and Arsenal.
This is why Gabriel needs to play. I want to see Gabriel in defense because Gabriel has the power. You know, he has the height. He knows what to do with it. He's 6'4". He can deal with those high balls to save Leno's backside.
Tomorrow, do it. Give it to us. Throw Saliba in tomorrow. Give the fans a treat. It's a nothing to lose game, really. I mean, give him his chance. Let him play in the deep end, and let's see what he can do. Right.
Hey, listen, I'm going to set up a GoFundMe so we can buy Martinez back.
I'll join.
It's only 20 mil.
And to think, I've got the goalie top.
They're not selling him. Don't be fooled. They're not selling him for any less than 60, bro. They're not selling him for any less than...
I even went and got a goalie top with his name on the back. Now I feel like an idiot.
If they go and sell him for that amount of money, I'm going to be really cheesed off because that's embarrassing.
He's worth it. He's worth it.
No, but the pandemic gave you a 30% minimum discount, so you started by 30% of the top.
All right, guys, listen, join us tomorrow at 7:30 and where we'll give you live coverage of Arsenal versus Liverpool. And we love you guys. We had up to 130 people watching. 500 people have watched the stream tonight, so I really appreciate you guys' company. Always a pleasure to spend Sunday evenings with you guys. And thanks to my panel as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I don't know which one of you are going to make it tomorrow for the live watch-along. Yeah, but we'll have some fun. I mean, it could turn nasty or it could be great, but we'll have to wait and see. Bertram, don't laugh at me like that.
No, I'm not coming tomorrow. I can't make it tomorrow. I'm working, but I record the game and watch the game, definitely.
Excellent, guys. All right, that's it from us at 101. Peace, love, and unity, and we're out.
Much love, people.